into my life. You made
Yay,
me
good
feel
news.
like
So for the domestic violence community, if you guys have seen an earlier video I had where we're discussing, I did a vague, and I think emotionally charged discussion regarding Rachel Pickrel-Hawkins case. So Rachel is a woman out of Larimer County in Colorado. She was unfortunately sentenced to spend, in my opinion, a very ridiculous sentence because, in my opinion, jail in prisons, they should both be rehabilitative, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stop, readmissions into the corrections, I guess community, I guess you could say. We're trying to stop recidivism. Recidivism? Yes. And I have a lot of issues with Rachel's case. Nothing to do with Rachel. It is 100% to do with Judge Mcdonald out of Larimer County. But the whole sentence was obscene, in my opinion, regardless. It looks like she spent 2 total weekends in jail. So the overall sentence was 7 weekends in jail. I touched on it on the last video, and you're gonna see me getting emotionally charged up for this video too. That is insane to me. Insane. It is nothing except punishment. It doesn't speak about parenting whatsoever. For a judge who sentenced her based on her objections to reunification therapy, for the judge's perspective and rationale to be, in one hand, yes, we're trying to reunite a family. We're trying to get a family back together, I guess, which shouldn't have been the case at all because the opposing parent in this case, it's Mike Hawkins, who was a former sergeant for the Aurora Police Department, had assaulted a few of their kids. So I don't even understand why, and I'm putting that lightly just based on YouTube terms, but I don't know why you would want to reunify that family already. Like, that doesn't make sense. But whatever, let's just run with it. Let's just say that that's Judge McDonald's reasoning. But then to go on and say, on the same hand, you're going to sentence their mother to 7 weekends in jail, who, by the way, is trying to hold down the whole fort, okay? Trying to keep a job, because when you go through child custody court, you have to meet these certain benchmarks and criteria, especially in a high conflict case. And this is not high conflict case. I'm so tired of that bias running around any sort of domestic violence family case. It's like, oh, it's high conflict. It's not high conflict. It's black and white. There's abuse. It's not like, one party is, in a lot of domestic violence cases, it's not as if both parties are just bickering back and forth. That's a high conflict. That's conflict. That's a normal conflict. What is happening with domestic violence is abuse. It's not conflict. And I wish that the family court system would separate these things out, but they just don't. So back in July, Douglas County in Denver, the Douglas County prosecutors filed criminal charges against Mike Hawkins just weeks after Judge McDonald ordered the mother to spend 7 weekends in jail for thwarting the court-ordered reunification therapy. Judge McDonald, said the pending criminal case meant circumstances had changed and caused him to reconsider his earlier jail sentence. I don't understand how you can stand on one throne, so to speak, and advocate so clearly for family reunification, because she brought all these charges up. Like, she didn't just say everything was kudos and great, and then all of a sudden the judge heard about his charges. That's not what happened at all. What happened was the abuse took place. Rachel did what any good mother would do, what any good mother should do, and advocated for her kids, and as a result was put in jail, which is wild. I just don't get it. But regardless, she avoided further time in jail after her attorney argued that the court-ordered reunification therapy that Rachel opposes between her youngest sons and her criminally charged ex-husband was being conducted by a therapist who had a history of tragic and deadly consequences, which is Christine Bassett from Lighthouse Christian Counseling Center. They've since taken down their social media, so don't worry about it. But the issue I have with this is these articles are not naming the people that are responsible within at least my family court system. And I'm going to start dropping names because I can't seem to get anywhere any other way other than when they get offended or worried that they're associated with some specific case that we're arguing on behalf of. And One Mom's Battle, which is a Facebook page, I think she has a website, a volunteer group, that type of situation. She raises a ton of awareness. It's spine-chilling how much awareness that she raises. So if you want to get involved, hop over to her Instagram. They have a Facebook page too, but they're all very active on there. So I digress. Yeah. So let me see here. So then it looks like, we're all learning things today. So Rachel opposed this reunification therapy. The therapist, who we mentioned, Christine Bassett, had a history of these deadly consequences, for another mom whose children ended up, being intentionally expired by the other party. So after this same therapist went through these, DBT skilled therapy sessions with these family members, I'm assuming they were DBT. I don't actually know that for sure. I'm assuming. My background is psychology. I don't know what else she would be doing. But after she did that with this other family, apparently there was multiple deaths following that treatment, and she still recommended it. I don't know how she didn't get a manager involved or anything like that, but it sure doesn't look like there was. I know that there is a Dora investigation happening right now. But anyways, Judge Mcdonald decided to suspend the sentence. Rachel, success story, baby. Rachel will not have to spend another 5 weekends in Larimer County Jail. I am just so happy. My heart is elated. The judge also stopped any additional reunification therapy sessions for her children, the 2 youngest, and their father, until the resolution of the criminal case happens. So until the dad is held responsible, Rachel has sole legal and physical custody. And I don't believe that the other party is getting any parenting time at all, which I hope I'm right about that. I would say that that's not been confirmed, but you could probably find enough sources on the internet at this point. There was a huge effort on a lot of Colorado representatives, a lot of legislature members in Colorado specifically, to make a big push for Rachel's case. And I know as a mom, it can be so easy to just throw in the towel and be like, no, I want to be quiet about this. I want everybody to disappear. I just don't want to go to jail again. But Rachel did such a fantastic job advocating for our community, the domestic violence community, and raising this awareness. And I just could not be more thrilled. I could not be more thrilled. If you want to see more on it, you can pull her name up on Google. There are a ton of articles covering the case, and this is a win. This is a win in the community. This is a win for domestic violence survivors. I wish and I hope that it sets the tone moving forward for Judge Mcdonald, that things like this cannot happen in the family court system. And I mean, they do, but they also need to be aware that at any given point, any of these cases can come to the forefront of a table somewhere and be held for discussion and scrutinized. And I'm just so happy. I'm so happy for Rachel. I'm so happy that she's kind of getting out of the weeds. And at least for the meantime, until this criminal case resolved, which, by the way, the charges were filed in July. So there's going to be a good few years there where she can just slow down and live a beautiful life with her kiddos for a little while, and just work on healing, kind of come back together as a family. This monster completely dislocated them, and I'm so happy for her. My heart just absolutely melts. So if you want a coping skill, a good way to go about healing, a good way to advocate for yourself and for others still kind of left in the fire, left in the trenches, if you will, is to get out there, get involved, go political, go start a LLC and get out there and be an activist and do things that fill up your heart. I'm just so happy for her. So I hope the same thing for all of us. I hope all of us stay out of trouble. I hope all of us have a fantastic, weeks and months ahead. And I'm just so happy. I'm lost for words. So you guys have a good time this week. Remember, work hard, have a good self-care routine, do things for yourself, carve out that time that you need. Okay. See ya.
You came into my life. You made me feel like an